just going to wait on that. Okay. Good evening, Tiger fans. We're here at Arlington High School for Week 3 high school football. Tonight we have a matchup between the Arlington Tigers and the Houston Mustangs. It'll be an exciting matchup. Houston is coming into this game with a record of 1-1. Arlington is coming into this game 2-0 after a big win against St. George's and a blowout in Week 1 of Raleigh, Egypt. Houston comes into this game off of a loss to Germantown last week, 49-28. They won Week 1 against Brighton, 34-14. A big storyline for today's game is if Kenny Walker will continue his hot streak that he's had for the past 2 games. He's had 10 touchdowns in 2 games, contributing 60 of the 105 points the Tigers have scored so far this season. The Tigers will begin this game by receiving the football. Nick Annawalt is to kick for the Mustangs. Back to receive for the Tigers is Kenny Walker and number 11, Devin Chandler. And there's the kickoff. It's a dribbler down the middle of the field, bounces around the 20-yard line. It's picked up. Walker will take the football, and the Arlington Tigers will start at around the 24-yard line. You will see out of the Arlington offense this week another heavy dose of running and handing the ball off almost every play. Rhodes Carson did have 3 touchdowns last week. He had over 170 yards passing. You will see a little bit of a sprinkling of junior Mitchell Faulkner in there as well, giving Kenny Walker some breaks every once in a while. The officials are speaking to Arlington head coach, Coach Sykes, right now. I think they're having some issues with the clock right now. Clock is stuck at 12 minutes. They're still currently trying to fix the time. This game was a top Week 3 game, according to Chris Van Tool of the Commercial Appeal. Due to the problems with the clock, they will be keeping time on the field, and they're unable to keep it on the scoreboard. Some technical difficulties. You'll see a good bit of Jorge Alvaros, number 3, at wide receiver and at cornerback on defense. Here comes Arlington to start the game. Start out with a 4-wide package. Carson in the gun. He stops and looks at the sideline. Houston appears to be blitzing as they're loading up the box, prepared for Kenny Walker. That pass is incomplete. Houston opened up with a blitz. Carson was unable to find his man Alvaros on the outside. This will probably be the strategy of most teams going forward to try to stop Kenny Walker from absolutely tearing through their defense. they're going to have to load the box with 7 guys. To add some blocking, Dontavius Slayton has checked into the game. And Walker is stopped in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Arlington's really going to have to adapt if Houston's going to be loading the box every play. Carson's going to have to make some good decision-making like he did last week against St. George's. Ben Stiegel was on the stop there for Houston. Arlington is in all blue. Houston is in the white jerseys. Carson stepping up, looks over the middle, finds his man. That's Devin Chandler. All the way down to around the 46, 47-yard line. Huge throw there by Carson to read the defense and find the post in the middle of the field. The Tigers going to push the tempo here. Handoff to Kenny Walker. Bounces outside. Stiff arms. Gets there. Still in bounds and gets another first down for the Tigers. Run an 11-yard run as the Tigers cross midfield to start this football game. Tigers are really pushing the tempo here with their first possession of the game. They line up with a bunch set out to the left. Houston elects not to press George Alvaros. Walker pumps that way, looking over the middle, incomplete. Ethan Woodland unable to make the catch there for the Tigers. Carson looking to the sideline. He shifts his man Slayton over to the right. Hand off to Walker. He runs behind Slayton. And he will be brought down after a 7-yard gain. Just kept pushing forward on the pile. That first completion to Devin Chandler over the middle has really given the Tiger offense something to work with. The Mustangs are now on their heels. Carson takes a snap, rolls out to the left, finds his man, and he's out of bounds. Carson, hand off to Walker. Out to the left side. Brought out of bounds by number 42, Ryan Bullock. Second down and 5 to go for the Tigers. Another short gain by Kenny Walker. Walker pumps to the right and can't find his man. Threw it to the end zone. It's incomplete. This is third down for the Tigers. This is the second one on this first possession. There is 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We'll see if they may eventually get the clock to run. Still keeping time on the field. Carson finds Alvaros, unable to be caught, though, by Alvaros on that short, quick slant. It will be 4th down. This could be 4-down territory, depending on if Connor Ford has the leg or not. Number 8, Jared Smith, the number 4, Ethan Woodland, check into the game to make it a 4 wide-out set with Devin Chandler lined up all the way out to the right. Walker goes out of the shotgun. And that pass is incomplete, says the referee, and that will be a turnover on downs for the Tigers. They really pushed Houston back that whole drive. They had some 2 early big gains in the passing game for Carson, but just stifled before they could reach the red zone. The Houston offense will take the field. They will feature number 1, Chris Colbank. In 2017, he had over 1,000 yards rushing and 15 TDs. He will hand it off to Lincoln Pare, number 4. Tackle made on the play by Kenny Walker. You also see Pare, they have a 2-headed attack at running back, and you'll see their offensive line headed by Kip Franklin. Franklin is number 66. Number 8, Ethan Burns is a quarterback. He hands it off to Pare again. Stopped for maybe a gain of 1. Thomas Macklin with the stop for the Tigers. It's 3rd down and 8 to go for Houston. Burns takes a snap, and that pass is batted. It's almost intercepted by Mitchell Faulkner, but he could not take it in. That was a really good chance for the Tigers to get a turnover. But nonetheless, Houston looks to be punting it away. 3 and out for the Mustangs. Here's the punt to Chandler. Chandler runs through a tackle, is eventually brought down by number 25, Ben Stegall. We'll see if Houston keeps stacking the box to stop Kenny Walker. They continue to send Slayton into the game to try to provide some extra blocking for Carson and for the run game. Houston will continue to stack the box with 7 men, leaving one-on-one coverage on the outside for Devin Chandler and Jorge Alvaros. Hand up to the right to Walker. They pull the guards. Walker is spun down around the 50-yard line. Tackle on the play there by Dion Harris, number 23. Second down and 7 to go. Houston looks to be blitzing again. They've been showing that all night. They're in there 3-4. Carson drops back. And he will be sacked. A huge loss. What a sack. Combining on the play was number 1, Chris Colbank. Andrew Turk, number 47, was in there too. This will be a long third down for the Tigers as they line up in a 4 wideout set. Still backing up way off from Chandler, and Alvaros is the Mustang corners, number 16, Will Stegall. Carson looking over the middle, looking for his man Chandler, and just overthrew him. It will be 4th down as they will send out the punting unit and number 46, Connor Ford. Back to return for the Mustangs is number 11, Grayson Hitt. There's some flags on the play. Could be a procedural penalty. That'll be a false start on the Arlington Tigers. Back them up 5 more yards. In high school rules, they'll just automatically give Houston the first down. No, they declined the penalty, excuse me. And they will take the short punt. That'll leave them to start with their second possession at the 42-yard line of Houston. Lined up on the outside at the wide receiver position is number 2, Jordan Monk. There's a handoff to Pare again. And he's brought down around almost at the 50-yard line, taken down by number 6, Garrett Lampkins. Number 71 is forced to check out of the game for the Tigers, and they'll have to replace him with number 57, Kenneth Payne, at right guard. Something going on with his helmet. Pare is out to the left, and he's outbound with the first down. There is a lot of laundry on the field. Holding on the Mustangs. That will back them up a good bit, all the way to around the 37-yard line to start on their second down play. Houston still loading up with tight ends. Pare just follows them. He cuts out to the outside. He's to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and did he get in? Still waiting for the officials, and they say he's down at the 1. He was finally brought down out of bounds by number 11, Devin Chandler. A 60-yard gain for Lincoln Pare, excuse me. Burns hands it off to Pare again. Did he get across? They say he did not get in. Thomas Macklin, number 22, brought him down short of the goal line. Back up to the line. To Pare again. He jumps. And they say he still scored and he got in. Penalty flag. Looks like some scuffling down there at the goal line. Mustangs with the first touchdown of the game. We'll see. This is likely an intentional, some sort of personal foul. Touchdown is good. That penalty flag, it's a personal foul on the Tigers. That penalty will be applied on the kickoff. Nick Annenwalt kicks the extra point through. Ironically enough, Lincoln Pare held the football for that kick after scoring the touchdown. That will make the score Houston 7, Arlington 0. This is AHS Football on AHSTigerLife.com. It's pretty funny. Houston Mustangs will get to kick from the Arlington 45. There will likely not be a return on this play unless the kick is just goes nowhere. Nick Annenwalt should boot this out of the end zone. No, it's an onside kick. And who has the football? That did go 10 yards. And it will be Arlington football. The onside kick did not work. A really good idea, though, by the Houston personnel. Number 7, Max Lloyd, almost got to that football after it crossed the 35-yard line. Here comes the Tigers on their third possession of the game. Walker gets a handoff, and he's brought down by a slew of Mustangs, a herd of them, if you will. Walker on the carry. Talk about a whole host of Mustangs. Tigers go to a 4 wideout set. They're trying to combat Houston loading the box with his 3-4. Houston is only putting out 5 defensive backs at a time. That pass to the outside is incomplete. Wait, did they rule out a completion? It's a fumble. It's going to be returned by Chris Colbank. It looks like they counted that as a completion and then a fumble. What a turn of events. That's pretty incredible. That was called a fumble on the field. I think Chandler had possession of the football for 1 minute or 1 second. Nevertheless, Houston will line up for a kick to make it 14-0. Unbelievable. The score is now 14-0. Houston leads Arlington. This is AHS football on AHSTigerLife.com. So after a crazy call that gave 7 points to the Mustangs, the Tigers will look to regroup here. This time the Mustangs will be kicking off on their own side of the field. Pretty shocking that that was a fumble and not an incomplete pass. If anything, his knees were on the ground after he caught the football, if they rule it that way, so it should not have been a fumble. And here comes a dribbler, and it's still bouncing around. Chandler will eventually pick it up. Chandler stopped by his own man. There's a penalty flag on the play, and he's brought down by number 22, Darby Smith. That will be a block in the back on the Tigers. Says, wow, some very poor field position to start this next drive. All the way back at their 16-yard line. I am just still in complete amazement that that last offensive play for the Tigers was a fumble, not an incomplete pass. That could be a game-changing play. As the Tigers now bring in Mitchell Faulkner to the right of Carson with Kenny Walker behind Carson in this pistol formation. Carson, lots to taunt to Walker. Great block there by Faulkner. Walker trying to get away, but the Mustang had his leg. That Mustang was number 5, Landon Schmidt. Loss of 2 as the Tigers are still backing up. They really need to get a good completion. The safety is really pressing up. They've got a lot of open space behind the safety, number 11, Grayson Hitt. In this cover 1 formation. And they lot to hand it off to Walker again, and he just can't get out of the tackles. As this Arlington offense is really stalling right now. The Mustangs have brought in a really good game plan to just stuff the box. And they're filling in every gap. Kenny Walker simply, since the first drive, has not had anywhere to go. They do go with the 4-wide set here. The corners are still backing way off their Arlington receivers, just making and begging Rhodes Carson to pass the football. Carson flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his right, and it's batted away Incomplete. Unable to find his man. Lots of whistles on the play. He was looking for number 4, Ethan Woodland.
Pass intended for Ethan Woodland. Ball's incomplete. Flag on the play. Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer on the Houston Mustangs will be a blessing for the Tigers as they move forward for a first down. This could be a break the Tigers could really need to try to refocus and get some offensive rhythm back. They'll continue to line up in the pistol with Faulkner and Walker around Carson. Woodland, shift from the right side of the field to the left, lined up in the slot. Carson with a pitch to Kenny Walker to the left. Walker gets to the outside, breaks the tackle, and he's finally shoved out of bounds. A 13-yard gain for Walker. He's past the 40-yard line. Grayson hit the safety, finally brought Walker out of bounds. Number 23 for the Mustangs, Deion Harris, will check out of the game. Number 66, Kip Franklin, will replace him at the nose tackle position. They stay in the 2 running back set. That handoff to number 39. Goes for a short 2 to 3 yard gain. That was number 39, Tyrese Perry. And we have timeout on the field. Arlington trying to find some rhythm on offense again. The Mustangs still lead 14-0.
Houston Mustangs 14. Tigers 0. It's great time to go grab a burger, or a dog, or some nachos, or a chicken sandwich, or some chips, the Lord's chips, or a good cold drink. Get to that concession stand. There's some ice cold sweet tea on that other side too. Grab you some of that as well. Hey, big thanks to our banner sponsors, Joe Stewart Collision, Phoenix Exteriors and Restorations, Orthos One Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Raleigh Tire, Arlington Physical Therapy, Tennessee Moving and Storage, Buffalo Wild Wings, Rachel A. Gilliam Realtors, Duke Insurance, Baby Jacks, Health Feeds, The Refuge Church, Memphis Orthopedic Group, 901 Prep, Academy Sports, Air Doctors.
That was the end of the first quarter. Unfortunately, I'm still unable to give you updates on the here comes a toss to the right for Walker to start the second quarter. And he's going to break through a tackle. And it looks like he had forward momentum, allowing him to get the first down for the Tigers as they're across the 45-yard line. He simply just ran through number 2, Jordan Monk, the defensive back. Dontavis Slayton will check into the game for number 23, Mitchell Faulkner at linebacker. Excuse me, at the running back spot to block. Oh, and a stop. Walker just didn't go anywhere. Huge hit by number 66, Kip Franklin.
Kip Franklin barrels his way through. Tackle Skinny Walker. Second down 13.
Second down and 13 for the Tigers. Line up in a 4 wideout set again. Houston still loading the box. Tigers still utilizing a soft count, a hard count, excuse me. Carson finds Jorge Alvarez on the screen, and he is just dropped. A huge 5-yard loss. Number 25, Ben Stegall, in there for the stop. And that will bring down 3rd down and very long for the Tigers. As they've really stalled every time they've crossed midfield, simply unable to get into real scoring range, even for a field goal. This time the Mustangs will line up with 2 safeties, anticipating a long throw as this will come. Carson looking downfield for his man Walker and overthrew him. Walker beat 2 men. Just a little long, and the Tigers will run out their punt unit. This Mustang defense has been really scrappy on their own side of the field. Grayson hit back to return for the Mustangs. Connor Ford with the punt. See how far he can pin the Mustangs back. Here comes the snap, and the punt almost blocked. Good effort on the play by number 25. Hit, trying to break a tackle. He does, and he's finally brought down by number 23, Mitchell Faulkner, at the 21-yard line. As the Mustangs have really been just using Lincoln Paré in the running game after that long 60-yard run on offense. And then they got the turnover to score to make it 14 with the fumble recovery by Chris Colbank.
Come on, Tiger fans. This defense needs to hear you. They need some of your support. Where are you, Tiger fans?
Tiger fans getting loud. Another good atmosphere tonight here at Arlington High School. Comes a snap. The pass, long, and it's broken away. What a play there by Jorge Alvaros. Really a great throw to try to get to Jordan Monk by number 8, Ethan Burns, the quarterback. Really great hustle there by Alvaros. Really impressive play. Had really good sense to turn around and break up that pass. Mustangs hand it off to Paré. Paré running through the middle, almost getting a first down. It appears tonight they have been exclusively going to Lincoln Paré. No handoffs to Chris Colbank so far. Have not even had an appearance of him on offense. It's really only been a factor on defense tonight. Short is a fumble. There is a penalty flag on the play. We'll see if this is a neutral or zone infraction. Ball start on the Mustangs. It appears the penalty was before the fumble. Paré stopped to the backfield by the Tigers. Number 57, Kenneth Payne with an initial tackle. Access denied for the Mustangs as they will bring on the punt unit. Devin Chandler will be back to return. He will stay at around midfield for the Tigers. Comes a punt by Anwalt. Shorts, and it will bounce and take a bounce for the Tigers out around the 46-yard line. as we'll have a stoppage in play. The Mustangs still up by 14. There's really nothing better than watching AHS football and AHS Tiger Life with a huge sunset in the background. Just a beautiful scene for Friday Night Lights. Carson with the handoff. Walker bounces it outside. Stiff arm on Paré. Brought out of bounds. Coach Sykes for the Tigers seems a little unhappy with the ref. He was thinking it was a late hit there. Second down and 7 to go. Carson with the handoff to Walker. Walker, lots of green in front of him. If he gets a block from Chandler, and he does. And he dives into the end zone for a touchdown. Tigers. Huge run by Kenny Walker. Over 30 yards. Takes it into the end zone. Continuing his touchdown streak, bring it to three games. That is a huge scoring drive for the Tigers. Great block at the end of that play by Devin Chandler. The snap is bobbled on the kick. Connor Ford is still able to get it up and away, and it's good. The Arlington Tigers have put up points on the board. It's now Arlington 7, Houston 14. Here with AHS Football and AHSTigerLife.com. Will take the kick inside the 5-yard line. Good there for Connor Ford. He has a lane. He's finally down to the 29-yard line, 30-yard line. Lincoln Paré does have an offer from the Naval Academy. And we're seeing his talents on display tonight. He has had a solid game running through the Tiger defense. Part of the reason why the Mustangs have a 7-point lead right now. See if the Tigers can get back-to-back stops. We are still in the second quarter. I have no idea what the time is due to the fact that still 10 points. And that run is stopped by a group of Tigers. Simply no room there by Chris Colbank, number 1. Finally see him on the field on offense. Pass. Ryan Burns is outside number 11. Racing hit.
hit on the reception, tackled by number 11, Devin Chandler. Brings him down for a Mustang first down.
It's rolling out to the right. Looking for his receiver and finds number 21. To Franklin. To RH Franklin. He's out across that 50-yard line. Tackle made on the play by Jorge Alvaros. Hand off to Lincoln Pare, and he breaks through. Look at that speed. And Kenny Walker tackles and forces the fumble. Oh, recover it, then bounces around, and the Tigers finally have it at the 1 yard. No, at the 5. The officials mark it. What hustle by Kenneth Walker to force the fumble of Lincoln Pare. Kenny Walker just showing how multifaceted he is. Coach Sykes mentioned to me just how versatile he is, as you saw there on defense. And the Tigers get another stop. That was a touchdown if it wasn't for Kenny Walker. That is a game-changing play. And now Kenny Walker will come back out on offense at the running back position.
First down, Tigers from the 6-yard line.
There's a handoff to Walker, a little counter tray. Walker breaking through, cutting. He's out across the 25-yard line.
Out to the 25-yard line. First down, Tigers. Ball to 25.
Carson, and he will be sacked in the backfield. Kip Franklin with the sack. He's got offers from the University of Virginia and the Naval Academy. Hand off to Walker. Across the left side. And he breaks the tackle. And he's still going on his finally. Hit hard.
Kenny Walker over the right side.
Huge hit there by number 25, Ben Stegall. He's been flying around everywhere. Number 25 of Houston. Houston is still loading the box, anticipating a handoff to Walker. Walker finds a little gap, around a 2 to 3 yard gain to the 40-yard line.
Tackle made by number 77, Jalen Lee. Number 23? Dion Harris. Gain of 4. Second down, 6.
Carson drops back, Looking deep to Chandler, and he finds it! And Chandler for a touchdown. There is a penalty flag. We'll see what that penalty flag is. A 60-yard throw and catch from Rhodes Carson to Devin Chandler. We'll see who this penalty on. 2 long touchdowns for the Tigers. Huge plays for touchdowns tonight. Devin Chandler just broke free. Nobody was covering. Carson's pass was right on the dot, and Chandler ran it in. And the kick is good. Arlington has tied this football game up.
We have no idea how much time is left in the first half. It's tied. 14-14.
The Arlington Tigers have gotten back into this football game to tie it up. This is AHS Football on AHSTigerLife.com.